Good evening, boys and girls. This is a quick battery replacement on a Dell XPS 13-inch, and it's the 9310 i7, and I think it's the 1167 version of that. So 16 gigs of RAM, 512 hard drive, and a dead battery. So what we've got here is basically a new battery. The other one was dying, lasted about 10 minutes on a charge. So I decided to put a new battery in it rather than have the unit as scrap, because it's still a really good computer for what it is. And it's actually taken quite a beating. This is the bottom shell of it. And as you'll notice on the radius edge here, it goes all the way up to the plastic edge here. So just be real careful when you prise this off, in particular when you get to where the charge light is and the touchpad right above it. So you've got to be quite careful in that respect, simply because it's glued down a little bit on this edge here, and you'll have to work your way along with your priors and just kind of work your way around until you can get some plastic that's loose, and then slowly keep working it until it comes free. It's actually a really, really good design. There's actually, as you can see here, it's a tiered edge, and it fits really, really well. These old units, you know, the 1165s and so forth, the i7s are really well made. And I've got to say, this thing's been on the floor a few times. It's dropped off the floor and hit the deck, and I've only lost a couple of bits of plastic off it. But everything else runs fine, the touchscreen works fine, and it's been a pretty good computer, considering. But like I said anyway, this was the replacement battery bought from Dell. It's the 51 watt hour Dell battery. There's rip-off versions of it, but, you know, I'd be wary about those, you know, just in case you do have an issue with your power source and charging, and, you know, you don't want it to to go up in smoke. So this is what it looks like for now. The other thing too is on the back here we've got the contactors for the motherboard. They're basically spring-loaded fittings, and they will actually index onto these little pins in the very back of your lower shell. So these little pins here will index, if I just kind of line these up. These little lower pins will index on these little points. I'll use a point blade here, right down there. So, and there's another one on this side here. So right there. So these little points here, these little spring-loaded pins, will actually form part of the structure of grounding on this computer. And be very, very careful when you get those. There is a little bit of an overlap on the plastic here. So when you do work your way around with your little pry tool, just make sure you pay particular attention to the back, because this plastic on the back is a lot more flexible than it is on the front. And as you can see here, let's just flip this thing over so you can see what's going on. So this is the version. And this is a few years old now. And like I said, it's actually been a really, really good computer. Not had any issues with it, and it's been on the floor multiple times. And I would have thought I'd have actually broken it by now, but it's remarkably robust for a little computer. They did a really great job with these, and you know, it's got the carbon fiber top on it. So they did an incredible job with the construction. If I can just move this out of the way, we'll just kind of flip it over. So it's the very dirty carbon fiber version. Needs a bloody good clean, but well worth saving without throwing away. Just be particularly careful too. You've got your glass touchpad here, so just be extra careful with that when you are dealing with your battery. So once you've removed the screws, You'll find the outside shell screws are red Loctited, and then the ones for the battery are blue Loctited, and then the black screw there is for the power cord for the power ribbon for the battery itself, and that'll index in the top as well as connect onto the 2 pins. So this might be part 1 and part 2. So there's just some instruction on here, so you've got to pay particular attention to migrate new parts, the battery, turn battery over and push parts out from the 2 holes, and it says push here to remove, and you'll see this. There's a couple of little pins hidden under there, and you'll have to push down on them to pop this out. So we're going to work on that, and once we're freed up like we were, it's just a case of wiggling this thing out. Be extra careful with your pry tool and work your way around, and then this battery will pop out. Alright folks, round 2 coming over and out for now.